Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh!
And we're back. All right, this video should be for Tuesday, the 14th? Yes. Tuesday, April the 14th, and hope everybody's having a good day. And we're going to continue on working on page 287. 287, this video should be short. Yay! All right, because we already taught the lesson, remember we're doing multiplying radical expressions. All right, we taught it all yesterday. We did number on page 287, 1, 2, 3, and 17. And we're going to go on today and do a few more of these. And then I'll leave you some of these to do for homework tonight. Because if you'll turn the page over and glance, and don't panic, there's 52 of them. All right, so we're going to do some more of these together. Hopefully you have 1, 2, 3, and 17 written down there. Let's do some more of these. And then basically just to rehearse it, what it is, and then I'll turn you loose for today, and you can do the rest of these, okay? So when you turn these in, you'll have 1 through, well, maybe. I ain't going to do all 52 of them. We don't want to do that, do we? All right, but you'll do a lot of these. All right, so let's write down what we can. 287, the ones that we did together, you should get those right because we did them together. So let's start our review number 4. All right, number 4 in our books. Number 4 in our books, but number 1 in your heart. Here's my chalk. By the way, do you know I hate chalk? So number 4, you have the square root of 5 times the square root of 10. All right, square root of 5 times the square root of 10. Again, if you remember, you just multiply what's inside the radicals. So 5 times 10 is 50. So I have square root of 50. Then I look to simplify it by finding a perfect square. And so instantly you should think of things, if I was you, I would just start with like 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 would definitely go into it. So we know that it'd be 25 times 2. And we know that's a perfect square. So what times what is 25? You should know this because you memorized it. 5, and we're left with square root of 2. All right, so you could do that perfect square root. The 2 is still there, so 5 square root of 2 is that answer. Number 5, 11, the square root of 11 times the square root of 3. Square root of 11 times the square root of 3. All right. 11 times 3 is 33. Is there a perfect square root of 33? 1 times 33, 3 times 11. That's it. So none of those are perfect square roots, so that's your answer. Square root of 33. Let's go on. These are too easy. Let's go on down there to number 8. Number 8 says the square root of 12 w to the 5th times the square root of 6w. All right, so I multiply the 12 times the 6, which is 72. W to the 5th times w is w to the 6th. All right? Now, I got to simplify this problem. All right? And so you're going to look here. Is there it's square root? All right? So we're going to look, is there a square root here of 72? All right? Let's do that first. So a perfect square. Let's deal with the w to the 6th in a second. 72 would be 2 times, what would it be, 36? 2 times 36, yes, right? Now I don't have any how to work out the answers in front of me, so when I get excited it's because I truly am glad I found the answer. So 2 times 36, and I chose that because what times what is 36? It's a perfect square. 6. All right, so 6. And I just now have the 2. Now let's deal with the w to the 6. So that took care of that. Again, what's the index here? Even though there isn't an index, there technically is one. And what is that little number there that's hidden? 2. All right, so again, remember when we have letters, you just divide the index into the exponent in the radicand. So w to the 6 would give me w cubed. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And that takes care of all of them. There's none left. So 6w cubed times the square root of 2. All right. Should be easy. Some of you automatically panic when you see fractions. But before we do that, I guess we should do the cubed root. Let's do number 11. 2 times the cubed root of 6. 2 times the cubed root of 6 times the cubed root of 12. All right, so I have 2 times 1 is 2, times the cubed root of 6 times 12 is 72. So my question now is there something multiplied by itself 3 times that would give you 72? Or a factor of that, right? So I gotta ask myself, all right, so let's just start with the 2. All right, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. Will 8 go into 72? Yes. All right, so I have 2 cubed root of, all right, so 8 times 9 is 72. So the cubed root of 8 is 2. 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So I factor out that 2. So now I have 2 times the cubed root of 9. 2 times 2 is 4 times the cubed root of 9. Is there something multiplied by itself 3 times that'll give you 9? No. 3 times 3 is 9, but that's only twice. Right? So the final answer is 4 times the cubed root of 9. So again, with the cubed root, 5th root, 4th roots, they can be tricky, but just think and work your way through it. The fraction we're going to do, number 14. Number 14 says 3/5 square root of 2 times 10 over 3 times the square root of 2. All right, 10 over 3 times the square root of 2. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply these fractions. So let's do that up here. 3/5 times 10 over 3. Easy. All right, so our 3's cancel out. 5 goes twice into 10. 1 times 2 is 2 over 1. The answer is 2. All right, so that fraction times that fraction is 2. Now I'll just multiply my radicands. 2 times 2 is 4. What is the square root of 4? 2. So 2 times 2, and the answer is 4. All right, so that's not too bad. Let's do number 20. How's that? 20? Number 20 says this. I'm going to have to turn around and write this one down. Number 20 says the negative 4th root of 32 times 3 times the 4th root of 12 times the 4th root of 6. All right. So now we start multiplying this out. I have a negative times a positive, which would be a negative. I only have a 3. Now let's do the roots on the inside. I'm doing that right? Yep. You're not here to correct me if I make mistakes. I gotta keep double checking, right? So we have to do some multiplying here. 32 times 12 times 6. Ooh. All right. So I know 6 times 12 is 72. So I'm going to multiply 72 times 32. 2 times 2 is 4. I can't do that one in my head. I could, but I don't want to show off. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 7 is 14. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. 4, 10, 3, 2. 2,304. And we're looking for the 4th root. Ew. All right, so what number is this? 20. I keep losing my track. There, I won't forget that. All right, so a 4th root. So one of the easiest things to do, I could honestly start with my 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So will 16 go into that? Let's check it out real quick. 16 into 2304. 16 goes into 23 once. 16 goes into 74 times. 64. And 16 goes into 64 4 times. Yay! All right, so 16, so negative 3 to the 4th root of 16 times 144. So the 4th root of 16, what number multiplied by itself 4 times is 16? That would be 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So I'm going to factor out a 2. So I have negative 3 times 2 times the 4th root of 144. Negative 3 times 2 is 6. So negative 6 times the 4th root of 144. Now, I got to make sure there's nothing to the fourth root. So I don't have many options here. If I do 2, I know 2 to the fourth root is 16. So will 16 go into 144? I at least got to check that. All right, 16 into 144. A4 would be 24. No. 6 would be 24. No, 36. 3. 9. No, 8. 8 times 6 is 48. 4, 8, and 12. 9, 54. And yes. So 9 goes in 9 times 16. Now, I did that just to show you trial and error until you find it. All right? So I know 9 times 16 will give me 144. So I have negative 6 times the fourth root of 9 times 16. I know that the fourth root of 16 is 2. So I'm going to factor out that 2, which leaves me, can you see this? All right, over here. So I have negative 6 times 2 to the fourth root of 9. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12 to the fourth root of 9. That's as far as I can take that. All right, so negative 12 to the fourth root of 9. Let me erase the board. I have a lot of stuff on there. Glance down. Now again, some are harder and easier. If you want to go over to page 288, we're going to start with number 27. While I erase the board, I'll give you a little something to listen to.
There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. There was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, N-G-O,
And we're back. All right. So if you look up here, all right, number 27, I have 3 times 5 plus the square root of 3. Distribution. So 3 times 5 is 15, plus 3 times square root of 3 is 3 square root of 3. Nothing else I can do with that one. That's your answer. All right, over here, number 30, I have on the board. Number 30 says square root of 2 times 3 square root of 2 minus the square root of 3. So again, distribution. 2 times this, my outside number is going to stay the same, the coefficient. Square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is square root of 4. Positive times the negative is a negative. Square root of 2 times square root of 3 is square root of 6. Alright, so now I have 3 square root of 4 negative square root of 6. Is there a square root of 4? Yes. That's 2. So I have 3 times 2 minus the square root of 6. 3 times 2 is 6 minus the square root of 6. Can't really do anything else with that, so that's the answer. 6 minus the square root of 6. Alright, so always look to see if you can simplify it any further. So you have some more distribution, and then number 34, and the rest of the way down you have foiling. Okay, so number 34, let's do that one real quick, and then I'll do one more. Number 34, number 34 says this. We have the square root of 5 minus the square root of 2, and we're multiplying that by itself. Square root of 5 minus the square root of 2. Alright? So when we multiply this, first outer, inner, last. When we have two binomials, we FOIL it. 5 times 5 is the square root of 25. Then we do our outer. You're going to have a positive times a negative, it's going to be the square root, negative square root of 10. Inside, you're going to have negative square root of 10. Right? Then the outer is going to give you a positive, a negative times a negative, square root of 4. Now you're going to, square root of 25 is 5. Over here, the square root of 4 is 2. Alright, and the negative square root of 10, and the negative square root of 10. If let's pretend for a second there was a 4 out here. negative 4 and a negative 4, you'd have negative 8 square root of 10. So there really is a number there. It's 1. So negative 1 square root of 10, negative 1 square root of 10 is negative 2 square root of 10. 5 plus 2 is 7 minus 2 the square root of 10. Let me make sure that's right. Yes. All right, so 7 minus 2 square root of 10. Now, if you didn't get that problem, all right, just go back, watch it again. That's the wonderful world of technology. All right, look at it again. But you have to simplify if you can. Whole numbers, put them all alike. You can put, when radicands are the same, you can put them together. So negative 10, negative 10. If that would have been a 4, I couldn't have put these two together. But since they're the same. All right, let's do one more of those. Erasing the board again. All right. Anyone who's smart. So if any parents are watching, if you want to invest in a smart board for me, I would love it. They're only like $2,000. Let's do number 48. You have 8 plus 2 square root of 6z times, I'm going to write the number down, so I'm going to keep looking. All right, times 2 minus 5 the square root of 6z. Okay, so here we go. Foiling, 8 times 2 is 16. That's my first. My outer would give me a negative 8 times 5 is 40 times the square root of 6z. My inner is going to give me a positive 4 square root of 6z. My last is going to give me a negative 2 times 5 is 10. Square root of 6 times 6 is 36. Z times z is z squared. Anybody follow that? If not, rewind. All right, but no, I just did first 8 times 2 is 16. Outer 8 times negative 5, square root of 6z would be negative 40 square root of 6z. Inner 2 square root of 6z times 2 is 4 square root of 6z. And last, since the radicands are the same, you're multiplying. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. 6 times 6 is 36. Z times z is z squared. Now you're going to simplify. I can't do that with the 16. Here, the radicands are the same, so I can put these together. Negative 40 and a positive 4 would be a negative 36 times 6z. I don't do nothing with that because they're just adding and subtracting radicands. Down here, I have negative 10. What is the square root of 36? It would be 6. The square root of z squared would be z. And it really took care of everything inside of there. So 10, 6z. So looking at this now, all right, we have 16 minus 36, 6z, minus 10, 6z. Again, you're just going to have 16 minus 36 square root of 6z. Negative 10 times 6 is negative 60z. And that's the answer, right? Nothing else you can do with it, so there you be. All right, so if you want to look at it with me, here's your work, and I'm all done for today. All right, don't worry, you don't have to do all of them. All right, I do want you to do numbers 1. Let's do on page 287, numbers 1 through 20. All right, 1 through 20. Right, done a lot of them. All right, so 1 through 20 on page 288. All right, why don't you start at 27, and why don't you do down to 44? 27 to 44. All right, so 27 to 44, so that'd be 3, 14, all right, 34, and we've already done a lot of those. All right, so make sure you write in all the answers, even ones we did together. And if you didn't do those, you want to rewind yesterday or today's, and get those answers. All right, but 1 through 20 on page 287, because Brooke always asks me, can you repeat that? So this is for you, Brooke. On page 287, 1 through 20, and then on page 288, 27 to 44. The bonuses, if you want a bonus, at the very top, 25 and 26 will be bonuses. All right, so that's it. All right, until next time. There probably will be a quiz sent home for Friday, or you can do it whenever. All right. But there'll be a quiz over what we've done so far in this chapter. And then we'll do one more lesson. All right, have a good night.
And Bingo was his name.